Welcome to episode 7 of Media Nest, the podcast where we discuss films and movies. And this week, as usual, I'm joined by Dylan
Hello there.
and Brad.
Hello there.
Okay, General Kenobi. And this week is my film recommendation. And I wanted to discuss the cinematic masterpiece, Green Lantern.
Yes.
Yes.
Masterpiece.
There's no other word to describe it.
I mean, there is. We'll get on to those words.
Putting it out there right now. This film, 5 out of 5. Boom.
Right.
Game
Honestly.
over. Game over.
And Brad's album choice this week was Sam Fender, Hypersonic Missiles. So a bit of a mixed bag this episode.
Yeah.
It could
how,
be,
how are you saying so? Yeah.
Could be a few emotions. Could be a bit
No,
of an
I feel like
emotional
the
rollercoaster, you know?
resounding overall thing going on here for the film. I feel like we're going to agree on this quite easily, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
So,
we'll see. Right. So
I mean, unless Dylan's going to start coming out with, oh, it's 5 stars because it was so bad.
Oh, yeah.
hold that thought.
Oh,
hold
fuck.
that thought.
Oh no.
Okay, so Green Lantern, right? I want to start by saying, firstly, I regret suggesting this.
Oh,
I
come
don't.
on.
I don't.
Right. As soon as those words left my mouth, Green Lantern, I was like, why didn't I just suggest something good? I've got a list of films that I could suggest, and I was looking through the list afterwards, and I was like, I chose Green Lantern over these. Right. But little background on Green Lantern. Okay?
Yeah.
2011 release, okay? And
Okay.
directed by Martin Campbell. So anyone familiar with Martin Campbell?
Not at all.
Nah.
I'll just name 3 of the other films he's directed, okay?
Okay.
GoldenEye, so the James Bond GoldenEye.
Pretty
Okay.
big budget. Okay, cool.
Yeah. The Mask of Zorro, right?
Okay.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Casino Royale,
Okay.
What?
right? So,
So
one
pretty
of the best
significant.
James Bond films,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Everyone agrees that the first Daniel Craig film is like one of the best, like modern James Bond films, at least since the 70s ones, right? Brad, I want to ask you a question because I know I
Yeah.
haven't seen this, but I looked up, right? And
Yeah,
Dylan
yeah.
probably knows. What do you think
Right.
the budget was of Green Lantern?
The budget.
Yeah.
Well, this has got to be a stupid high amount. I'm gonna go ahead and say, are we including marketing or are we just
No,
the budget?
not marketing.
Nah.
Just the budget
Not
for the
marketing,
film.
just the
Yeah.
budget. Okay, 300 million.
I mean, that's wild. But when you watch the film, right, what would you suggest the budget was? Like if you're being realistic as to the final product.
17
20
mil.
quid.
Right.
Adam made the movie on his laptop.
Bro, someone made this film on Adobe Photoshop.
Bro,
I swear to
yeah.
you.
Bro, that's not far off, to be fair. It did look like Photoshop. No, I read this and my jaw genuinely dropped. Okay, this film was
I don't know
$200 million.
200 mil.
Right. Let
2
me put that
million.
into context, okay, because I had to know. If you adjust for inflation, this is the 52nd most expensive film ever made.
Mhm.
Are you
Ever.
kidding me?
Not just
Mhm.
superhero films, not just modern
Just
films,
ever.
ever made. It cost the same as Titanic.
Yeah, but
Are
honestly,
you
though,
kidding me?
honestly though,
Right.
how much money was spent on CGI in this film?
All
Bro,
of it.
that's £17. Okay, right.
£17
And
of
also-
that £20 budget.
Right, so you've got a decent director, okay. Some of the writers as well. So one of the writers was credited for helping write Logan and Blade Runner 2049.
Logan's
Okay.
unbelievable.
Yeah, Logan's like one of the best superhero films out there.
Yeah.
right? And Blade Runner 2049, I love that film.
I've
right?
heard good things.
But the other 2 writers are basically primarily known for the DC TV shows. So Arrow, Supergirl, Batwoman.
Yeah, all the
Not
good stuff.
Great.
Yeah. All the good stuff.
Okay. But,
Okay.
right, so I was surprised by the big name director I read, and I was like, why was this film so bad then?
Yeah.
The main producer of this film, I said to Brad as soon as we finished watching it and we were looking at the credits, I was like, remember
Okay.
that name. Remember that
Alright.
name, okay? Donald DeLine, okay?
Okay.
He is known for the Italian Job remake,
Mhm.
Okay.
Ready Player One, Fool's
Okay.
Gold, the film with Matthew McConaughey in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pain and Gain,
Mm-hmm.
Yogi Bear,
Okay, this is not looking good.
right? And Without a Paddle, to name but a
Okay.
few. Okay, they're his
Okay.
most well-known productions.
Oh
Okay.
no. Okay.
And the film's got 5.5 on IMDb, which to
What?
me is way too high.
No, that could just be like people trolling and going for like those tens. Like
potentially, but on Letterboxd, which is more of a user-generated score, is 1.7. So
Okay,
that
okay.
seems more realistic to me. Yeah, as I said, 200 million budget. It made 220 million, but when you take
Oi,
marketing
big
into
money in
account,
there though.
no. When you
No,
take
no,
marketing
no.
into account for
It
these
lost.
big like blockbuster superhero films,
Yeah,
they spend fuckloads on marketing. So
they
you can just
spent
assume
80 mil or
it
something
lost
like that.
better. They were going to kick off a DC universe that failed.
Did you guys watch the post credit scene?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
so that was meant
that's what they were
kick it
trying to
off,
do.
And what was it? They greenlit 2 sequels before the film even came out.
Just Dylan's face.
Oh my god, they
Were
didn't.
confident, bro. They were banking on this.
Oh my god,
Jeez.
I'm
Right.
shook.
It won a few awards actually. Like surprisingly,
What,
it won a
Razzies?
few awards.
Wait for it.
It won Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively both won an award. They won Best
Okay.
Actor, Best Actress at the Teen Choice Awards.
Oh, for okay,
Right?
okay.
The very
they were-
highly regarded Teen Choice Awards.
Can I just ask, were they married at that point?
No, they met during the production of this film.
Oh no!
Right. So all of the chemistry you could feel oozing out of the screen.
Was just
that was
awkward
them,
sexual tension.
That was the honeymoon
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
And it also won awards at the Golden Schmoes. It won the biggest disappointment and the worst movie of the year.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay, it did win one genuine film and TV award. Okay. Not ironically, the soundtrack by James Newton Howard, who is also known for King Kong, Dark Knight trilogy, and I Am Legend's music. Okay.
Damn.
Won an award.
Yeah.
Big man.
Okay.
So I at least expected before we watched the film that the soundtrack was going to be good.
Yeah, because
we'll get onto that.
Yeah, we'll
right. So that's the background of the film. Also, this is very important to note, which will explain a lot of things. Okay. The director and Ryan Reynolds hated each other.
Oh, okay. All right.
The director originally wanted Bradley Cooper to play Green Lantern.
So they wanted Bradley Cooper to play a cocky airplane pilot.
Yes.
How fucking oh my god.
But the studio went behind his back and hired Ryan Reynolds. So from the start, the director fucking hated Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
And both of them have denounced the film afterwards and said it was a horrible experience. Right?
Yeah.
The CGI suit, okay?
Oh my god.
suit was added by the studio without the director's consent, basically.
Okay, so just for context for the listeners, the entire movie where Ryan Reynolds or Hal Jordan, Hal Jordan was in his super suit. It was a CGI green sock.
Bro,
That's
it was a PS2 level computer graphics.
Don't say PS2 suit. Because there are some PS2 games that are better.
Yeah, that's insulting to
that's
PS2.
That's an insult.
Bro, we're talking
64.
Sega levels.
Bro, the aliens looked exactly like Destroy All Humans with the same graphics.
Literally. It was awful. The fish had titties. Anyway, carry on.
I was saying, so the director didn't know that he was like getting CGI the suit. So what was he wearing?
The director designed like genuine suits, and they just decided to CGI over it.
So when in those scenes where he's like being CGI'd a suit over, right? He was actually already wearing a suit.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because the director said this is not his cut of the movie. Like someone who worked on it said the director was pissed because they basically just changed there. And they said they cut out all of the scenes of character development and just replaced them with CGI nonsense, right? Which when we get onto the actual film, that makes a lot more sense.
I've just realized. So the reason why everything looked bad is because they didn't use a mocap suit, and B didn't have any like green screen anything.
There's no way that was mocapped. There's no way, because
it's just
Lord of the Rings came out in 2002, the second one, right? And you had Gollum, who's a mocap character,
literally looking
infinitely
amazing.
better than this, even though it came out 10 years before.
They literally went in post-production and tracked it wherever he moved.
You could tell though, because like his neck. Me and Prep were just laughing at his neck. It looked like his head was photoshopped on top.
No, bro, but also his face was fucked.
Yeah.
Like when you had the mask on, it was like his face was fucked. Like,
it was horrible. It was horrible.
Unbelievable.
It's like the mask had sunk into his eyes.
Yeah.
Bro,
this was genuinely worse than Justice League with the Superman mustache.
By far.
It was worse because this is your main character as well.
Yeah.
Like Superman wasn't the main character in that, at least.
Yeah.
Every scene, his face looks so fucked up.
Honestly, it was amazing.
So there's your little background, okay? But let's start with the positives. All right.
Okay.
We'll start with you, Brad. I want to hear your positives of Green Lantern, and then we'll move on to the negatives.
It was humorous.
In what way?
In the extraordinary way. The creative control here of just creating a fucking masterpiece. It was, the acting was just hilarious.
Incredible.
True humor. That's about as far as I go.
Okay.
So basically just completely ironic. Was there any genuinely
genuine humor? I'm calling that. That's genuine humor. They intended that.
Yeah,
no,
they wanted the audience to be laughing. They were like, do you know what? We're not going to take this too seriously. Let's just give everyone a good laugh. So I appreciate that.
That's not true though, because there was a lot of scenes where he's like, "Dad," and then his dad dies in an explosion. You're meant to feel sad.
I want to build on what...
me.
Yeah,
that was the funniest scene I've ever seen in my life. Though, I'm not gonna lie. Right,
it's my job not to be scared.
Oh no!
Oh, stop it.
We'll get to that. No, positives, Brad. Positives. Right, Dylan.
That was funny. That's what I'm saying. It's funny. Yeah. It's positive.
I want to build on what Brad said, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. That is one of the best parts about the movie, is that it was just ironically bad. Like they were trying so hard to make everything good, and everything they tried on. Well, they must have tried.
Debatable.
No, they must have tried somewhere.
All right.
Everything,
there was some
everything
people trying.
Yeah. Every time you think
not
like
everyone.
like whenever they tried to do something like when they're flying across, like, oh, what is it? Like, oh, we get to fly now? Like all that kind of stuff. Hilarious. So funny.
It was hilarious.
The part where the bad guy comes out in a motorized fucking wheelchair. Hilarious.
No. Me and Brad died.
The funniest part was when his dad died.
Oh, man.
Honestly. Oh, like just the part where they throw the disabled man into a wall.
Bro,
why would they do that?
Listen, he literally gets out of his plane. He fucking stands up out of his plane and he's just crashed to the ground without a scratch on him. He goes to his son, gives him a good old thumbs up, and then fucking blows up.
No, that was shot like a comedy. That was shot like a parody.
Yeah,
when he's in the plane and he's just like, his son's like looking at him and waving, and it's like all nostalgic music, and then it just fucking blows up. It's like hilarious.
Joe, that's something out of like something like Jojo Rabbit, where it's like supposed to be dark humor. That's what it felt like.
Even though you're meant to be sad. And also, right, the character development and that, like, they didn't set up until he was just driving his plane, and then suddenly he looked at a picture of his dad.
Oh my!
Everywhere he went, there was pictures of his dad.
Literally, just everywhere. Went to the bar, there was a picture of his dad.
Literally, he was plowing down Blake Lively and just looks like there's a picture of his dad.
You're doing great, son.
I remember when my dad was having sex. No, they probably cut that out. Right, I've got some positives as well.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
I mean, as you both said, the film is hilarious, but I feel like we're more just laughing at our jokes of the film than the actual film being funny. Because fucking Quantum Forehead, bro, it was amazing. There was honestly,
Quantum Forehead.
Right, I've never seen a film with this many dead hairlines in it. I know.
No, everyone, all the bad guys had to have bad hairlines. What's with all the dickheads got to have bad hairlines, bro? Look, us men with bad hairlines, we're not all bad people, okay? Right?
So the director must have some issues he needs to deal with because everyone had a bad hairline. But Freddie Mercury, right? I want to talk about Red Freddie Mercury, Reddy Mercury. Right. What was it? We called him Freddie Forehead. Right. Freddie Forehead, and you also had the other villain, Sheldon. You had Elephant Man Sheldon. Elephant Man Sheldon was genuinely good. All right. Now, when I say genuinely, I genuinely think that actor Peter Sarsgaard was actually doing a good job. It's just the rest of the film was so shit they just made it funnier. Right?
His character made sense.
He was my favorite character in the film.
No, but are you saying that he's good, or are you saying that he's the best of a bad bunch?
I'm saying he's genuinely good.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Like
I think
everyone else,
clouded.
Him and Mark Strong, who's Freddie Forehead, they were trying. They were trying to be good villains.
I don't know. Sinestro, Freddie Forehead.
Right, he was good. Right, he was trying. The problem wasn't with him. It was with his writing, and the prop department or the CGI department decided to make him look like a red, bulbous, fucking giant-headed Freddie Mercury. That wasn't his fault. If you made that character look sick, he would have been good. Because have you seen what's it called? Shazam. Right?
Yeah,
I've seen
Shazam.
Mark Strong plays the villain in Shazam, and he's amazing.
Does he?
Yeah, that's Mark Strong. So he has that typical posh, British voice, and he's a good villain. But they just fucking ruined him because he had zero motivation. And we're meant to be talking about positives. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Right. And it was just funny. It was funny. That my favorite scene, I think, was either the disabled elephant man getting thrown into a wall.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Because why was he even in a wheelchair? Why?
They didn't even build this. They were just like, oh shit, he's in a wheelchair.
Right, no, I read originally he was meant to be using his powers to just float, and they were like, "No, we'll put him in a wheelchair." Yeah.
Why would they put him in? He's supposed to be all powerful. He's got a fraction of the fucking what's that big bad thing called?
Parallax.
Parallax. He had a fraction of parallax. So if that would have made his character lax attacks, whatever.
Parallaxive.
Yeah. Good old lax attack. Yeah.
I'm done with positives.
Okay, now let's
move on to the.
Let's talk on to the bigger picture here.
Right, I'll just start because we're all going to agree. The one major negative of this film, but also makes it hilarious, is the CGI is atrocious.
I mean,
genuinely
some of the worst CG I've ever seen. And I'm taking into consideration 100%. Old movies that have used CG.
Yeah.
That, it's worse than a fucking 1999
some of those
CG movie.
Those plane scenes. Oh my
God.
Yeah,
the CGI planes. Everything was CGI. Right. At one point, I was angry because I kept saying to Brad when he was in his apartment, I was like, something feels off. The windows don't look real, right?
Yeah.
They CGI'd the fucking city in the background for no reason because we noticed it. You know the great scene where Green Lantern floats outside Blake Lively's window, right?
Yeah.
That looked awful.
It looked atrocious.
Genuinely abysmal. The worst CGI I've ever seen. Jurassic Park came out in 1994, right? And even the Velociraptors look better than this film.
Wow. Just use practical. Use practical effects and use CG to buff it.
But that's it. The director, though, if you watch Casino Royale,
and
Legend of Zorro and his other films, he loves practical effects and like real action.
He's
Casino Royale, when they flip the DB9, right? That was all real. They put like a hydraulic thing on the car and just flip.
Do you know what we need, boys? We need the director's cut.
Bro, honestly,
right.
Here's the thing.
Do you know what?
Let's start a petition. Right? Let's get a petition going.
There is aspects of this film that if it was not interfered with, it could have been good. That's what I feel. Like genuinely good. But it's just they fucked it.
The storytelling as well.
Yeah.
First of all, the storytelling as well is bad. Like the story in general is bad.
The story is by the numbers the most stereotypical superhero origin film of all time. But that's the first half an hour of the movie where they just cut ridiculously quick. I was saying to Brad, the character development is the fastest I've ever seen. Like 30 minutes into the film, he's already the Green Lantern and he's fighting people. He's flying. And then 2 minutes later, he's like a god.
Yeah. Literally untouchable.
Did anyone actually enjoy like the whole selection process? He did within what, like 3 days? Like what? Yeah. He went from like ordinary human to in like 3 days suddenly
the whole film was like
defeater of a fucking god or some shit. Like,
and then the other one is like Blake Lively was pissed off with him. 10 minutes later, she's like giving him the fuck me eyes.
Can we talk about her honestly acting?
Oh yeah. No, go on, bro. Take it away.
Go on.
Oh no. Oh, there's this thing, this problem. Oh, my daddy's not happy. Oh.
That was it.
Genuinely.
Wait, did you just play a sound clip from the video from the movie?
It's just Jesus. How can someone be so emotionless?
Yeah.
Like
dead.
And then every scene is meant to be her like being like fucking, oh, I love you, fucking Ryan Reynolds.
Sultry,
Suck my dick. Oh,
yeah.
But even she doesn't do that. She's just got fucking glazed over cocaine eyes, and she's just like, "Will you go to bed with me, Green Lantern?" Can we all agree that even though we've talked about like Orlando Bloom and Mike Myers previously or whatever, right?
Yeah.
She's the worst actress or actor we've seen so far. And that's impressive.
It's impressive considering we once spoke about a movie where the main actor didn't want to be the main actor. She was getting paid and she wanted to be there.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds didn't want to be there, but Ryan Reynolds is serviceable. The script is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, the writing for him is awful. It's like, I think he makes American badass. Yeah.
That's the thing. Bro. He makes a good Hal Jordan, because in the comics, Hal Jordan's this fucking American army dude who's just fucking cocky as fuck and the best at everything. He plays that fine. He's not good, but he plays it fine.
It's just by the numbers. It's just like there.
Did anyone actually manage to follow the whole plot line with the contract? No. He got fired, and then all of a sudden the contract's fine again, and I had no clue what was going on there.
The first 10 minutes, I just had massive flashbacks to when we watched Valerian. It's the same problem. Right? If you have a crazy universe with all of these aliens and plot lines, right? You need an anchor. So Star Wars, right? The original Star Wars, you've got Luke Skywalker, who doesn't know about the Jedi, he doesn't know anything. So people teach him, right?
Yeah.
If you open your film with a 10-minute long CGI fucking clusterfuck, where they're just explaining all of this shit, it's an overload and you can't follow it. Like, literally, it's just nonsense.
It's too much. The Valerian was awful with that. You start off going to like 90,000 planets with 20 different aliens. And it's fucking, it's too much.
You need to dole out the story piece by piece. Whereas this, they threw the entire story at you in the first half an hour. And then to me, after that, it was boring because you'd already seen everything that there was to offer.
Exactly. They should have started
from
off
the hilarious wheelchair bit.
Well, they should have started off with him just being a human being, and then he gets sucked off into this alien planet. Whoa, everything's crazy now. Well, you know what I mean. He gets taken away to this alien planet. You don't get. Let me just say, Ryan Reynolds does not get sucked off in this movie by an alien planet.
Does. No, he
almost does.
He almost does.
In front of Taika Waititi.
I mean, they're in his apartment with Taika Waititi just standing there. And she's like down on her knees for him, you know.
One second. I need to bring this up as well. Please. Most of the film was funny bad, okay? But one thing that annoyed me more than anything else, right, is they ruined Taika Waititi.
Yeah, he's cancelled.
How do you have Taika Waititi, a charismatic Kiwi fucking comedy god in your film, and he's boring? He doesn't even have his accent. He doesn't say "ig" once.
Shut up, ig.
Yeah, it's an ig.
He's just there. He doesn't even sound like Taika Waititi. He's just some random guy who's like, "Hey there, can I see your suit?"
Do you know what he reminded me of? You know Richard Ayoade, but shit.
Right, I saw that. I thought that as well.
Richard Ayoade, but actually boring. Like Richard Ayoade plays a boring character, but makes it hilarious.
Yeah.
He was just boring.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Right.
Boring tech guy.
How do you make him boring?
Yeah. How do you make someone who everything he says is comedy gold? How do you make him sound shit?
Literally, if they just gave him the strongest Kiwi accent possible, that would have made the film amusing. If he's just like, "Oh, let me see your suit, mate. How's it going?" Then I'd be in. But they even fucked that up.
I mean, at least Thor did that, right?
Yeah, exactly. There we go. But no, it's okay. Let's go. We've covered a lot in the negative, but I want to just go back because we kind of skipped over this part.
Okay.
So this movie, how long are we saying this movie takes place over? Like 4 days?
Bro, it's like at least like 3 days max.
3 days. So the beginning of the movie, Parallax is this almighty god, the devourer of planets. He goes and steals the souls out of every living being on the planet.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And then they go, everything happens.
Right.
Hal Jordan gets the ring. Goes up to the alien planet and they go, a human? You're fucking weak as shit, boy. You're fucking pussy ass bitch.
Right, and Dylan, it's important to note that we establish that there are thousands of Green Lantern Corps, right? I just want to make that clear.
I think they mentioned 25,000.
You see a Green Lantern Bionicle. You see a Green Lantern fish monster. You see a giant Mike Wazowski with one eye. Bro.
Yeah, you see a giant wasp.
Green Lanterns.
Yeah,
giant wasp.
They got you've got fairy.
Right.
They had all
Gandalf
of that.
in there, whatever.
Yeah,
like, it's just
all of them.
Thrown on
all
the
of
screen.
them. Right. And then at one point they were like, right, we need to take down this alien. Let's choose 10 people. So they take 10 people
Probably wasn't even
to fight this.
It was like 7 people.
7 people. They're like, yeah, we need to take our most powerful.
Right.
They take 7 people to destroy the devourer of beings. Okay, they all die.
Apart from Freddy's forehead.
Apart from Freddy got fingered, and then all of a sudden, at the end of the movie, Hal Jordan, one singular 3-day
carry
old.
On, but then I want to follow up this point.
Yeah,
so finish your
one
point.
single 3-day-old Green Lantern manages to defeat the devourer of the planet by throwing him into. He yeets him into the sun. That's it. End. Finn.
Right.
That's it.
Dylan, okay?
Please.
That pissed me off too. Do you want to know why that was in the film? Originally, right?
Okay.
Originally in the script, and I assume what the director wanted, was that they were all going to go to Earth to fight Laxative Boy, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, at some point, probably without the directors saying, they changed it because they wanted to make Green Lantern more heroic. Heroic. So they wanted the squad to come at the end, because after he's thrown him into the sun and Green Lantern's flying towards the sun, they pull him towards them, and all the characters that you were introduced to in one scene,
but also
an hour ago,
in watching that, I swear they pull him about 4 meters, and they're like, "Oh, it's fine now."
No, because
I swear, he's been sinking into the sun for like a minute, and then they just pull him out like 4 meters, and they're like, "Oh, he's good."
Brad, you don't understand. If you're a million miles from the sun, then you'll die. But if you're a million miles and 1 meter, you're fine.
Then it's fine.
Sorry. I was wrong. Okay, I'm sorry.
That was a conscious decision. That wasn't even part of the script.
So
it comes down to the producers, bro. I told you. I mentioned the producers and some of the writers, right? They fucked this film. God.
How could they think that they built him up to be this weak Green Lantern? They built him so that he was one of the new weak Green Lanterns. And I thought, if this was an origin story, they're not going to make him the most powerful being. That's like Iron Man 1. Like, they made him so he's just strong enough to do whatever he needs to do.
Yeah, This is the
in
problem.
this, they made him the most powerful being in the universe.
In 2 days with training, one training session that didn't even go well.
It wasn't a training session. It was just this rock monster.
It was a bitch listing.
The thing came over in a green suit and punched him in the face. That's it.
Yeah, true.
What the fuck?
The script and the decision making by the studio is what completely fucked this film.
Honestly,
there are hints, like some of the stuff with Parallax and I don't know, some of the action scenes were like relatively entertaining, apart from the helicopter scene, which was fucking unbelievably bad.
Let's get to it. We'll get to that.
All right, let's talk about a helicopter scene quickly then. Right.
All right.
Oh my
do you want to go for it?
Mans are at a party, even though he sacked his entire staff 10 minutes before. That was a plot.
Oh no, they changed their mind at that party though, didn't they? They were like, "Oh, look, the contract's so good now."
Yeah. Fuck knows, mate. Right.
Honestly, can we? I just want to throw back to something else, actually. Right?
Yeah.
Do you remember when he gets jumped in the car park?
Yes. That was hilarious. Doesn't he throw like a rock at him and it turns
so he gets jumped by. So
his
for some reason he crashed his airplane.
No,
so he crashed his airplane.
Just remember, right? He comes up to him and he says, "You're the reason we got fired," and then he starts punching him.
No. But that's the thing. So before that scene, he crashed his airplane. So obviously the director of the company goes, right, because you crashed your airplane, we need to fire everyone. Right? Okay. So after that, they find him in a car park because they were there.
They just knew he was going to be there. They knew he was
going to be there. And then they beat the shit out of him, and then they're walking away. And for some reason, Ryan Reynolds' character goes,
"My face isn't taking a pain yet."
My face is fine. Come fuck me up.
My face is getting warmed up.
Right, boys,
and then he throws some rocks at them, and then the Green Lantern ring activates and punches all three of them, and they should all be dead, considering that the power of the Green Lantern ring punched the fuck out of them through a wall.
Did you see the guy go through the wall? That looked like the most... No, did you see the guy go through the wall, right? That looked like the most fakest wall I've ever seen in my life.
Boys, look, we need to stop. We cannot describe every bad scene in this film because it will be 8 hours long.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
I can't even remember what I was talking about. Right, anyway, the helicopter scene, right?
Oh, yeah.
Man gets in a helicopter and he's flying over 200 guests at this swanky party, right? While waving at his daughter through the window, right? Which I don't know if you've ever seen a helicopter, but no one would ever do that.
They
all
won't.
the tables would fly, people would die, right? Anyway.
Yeah.
And then... what's his name? Fucking Elephant Man. Fires a bolt into the helicopter because he's pissed off that he's like an incel or something, right?
Yeah.
And then the helicopter's spinning in the air. It's clearly going to crash. And then it cuts to every guest at the party, and everyone's reaction is just like looking like stone wall. Nothing is happening, right? And then it cuts to Blake Lively, who's on the phone, and she's like, "You need to send help, the rescue team, because the helicopter's going to crash." It's her fucking dad in the helicopter.
Literally.
Literally. It's as bad as like Troll 2, where it's like, "Oh my God, they're eating her. And now they're going to eat me." Bro,
literally.
It's like that, but in a real film. Yeah.
Same energy.
And then anyway, the helicopter crashes through the party where there's hundreds of guests and no one dies.
No one get hit.
No one dies. Because this film's a PG-13 and you can't have people dying.
Yeah, of course. Also, at the end of the movie, they killed at least half of the population of the city.
Literally, like, at least 1 million people.
Like, literally 25,000 people died in 12 seconds.
Yeah.
in that part of the movie. But it's fine, because Green Lantern saved the day.
It's cool. He got the girl.
Yeah, he got the girl. He smashed.
Hey, my one question about like him murdering all those people in Earth, though, right? Is that where the fuck did all those people come from?
Probably we just chilling.
Yeah.
No, but like, how was there so many of them?
Right.
Wait,
I want to bring up.
No, because
it's a city,
Earth,
bro.
where, like, literally, you're like, they've taken out the entire road, they've taken out the entire pavement, right? You don't fit that many people in a street. Where the fuck did all these people come from?
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. There was just people standing there. But also, right. Let me bring up, because I think I said this in the group chat when we were watching this, right?
Right, yeah.
Let me set the scene, okay? Let's say we are standing on Chatham High Street, okay? and you look up, and there's a big alien cloud that descends from the heavens. It's black and thunderous. It's black and thunderous with a face, a big skull and crossbones, saying death. Okay.
Run towards it, Dylan.
You no. Why would they? They were all standing there, looking at it. They were just staring at it. What did you think was going to happen?
And then they started
did you think it was going to give you money?
And then started running towards it, bro.
Yeah. And then as soon as it did one thing bad, they were like, "This alien cloud with a skull is bad," and then they run away. Bruv, please, why?
Right,
why?
Yeah, but right, Dylan, there's too much shit. There's worse scenes than that, right? Can we talk about? We've talked about the CGI, but also
we haven't even finished. We haven't even finished with the helicopter scene yet. We've not done the part where he then turns it into a race car.
Hot Wheels,
right?
take that.
Oh my god, no, you're actually right.
Yeah,
I forgot that. I forgot that he turns it into a green car on a little track that starts doing fucking
wheelies. It does a backflip,
doing loop-de-loops.
Have you seen Scooby-Doo where he starts riding a fire extinguisher?
Literally,
bro, it's the same scene. They took inspiration from Scooby-Doo.
They Tokyo drifted that shit round a bend.
Mate.
Oh,
right. We need to move on from the scenes, though. Otherwise, we'll be here for hours, bro. Right.
Yeah.
The prop department. Okay.
Oh my god. Please.
Right, Dylan, you came out with the best thing I've ever seen in my life while you watched it.
Right.
It was 100% accurate. What did you say about the props in this film?
I said that the ring and the Green Lantern looked like they were from Wish.com. They were plastic, just garbage made by a small Chinese kid in a factory. Literally the worst thing I have ever seen. They spent £12.50 on that with postage and packaging.
Remember, $200 million.
200 million. And they couldn't
bought
forge a ring.
They painted a bit of plastic green and was like, that's the lamp.
I would like to know how much the actors actually got paid out of that.
Probably
I'm curious.
Let's be honest.
It's probably a lot.
Ryan Reynolds was not a household name in 2011,
yeah, I don't think he was that. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. Maybe it was just an embezzlement scheme. Like maybe the producer just ran off with fucking like $100 million. Honestly. I mean, judging by the other things he's worked on, that is 100% possible. But yeah, it's so bad. It borders the line, right? Should we get on to final thoughts then?
Yeah, please.
Yes.
I'll start.
Okay.
This film borders between so bad that it's good and so bad that it's just really bad, almost simultaneously. It's kind of impressive, right?
Yeah.
The film that kept coming to my mind the whole time we were watching it was Justice League, because Justice League is another big epic superhero film that they fucked up.
Yeah.
There's terrible CGI, terrible script. It's like, it seemed like, I mean, it's the DC universe, you know, they started how they meant to go on. But
exactly.
It was kind of like scene by scene. Like you started off with the plane flying scene where his dad dies. That was hilarious.
I don't get how that was meant to be like sentimental.
No, like it was just pure comedy. It was literally comedy.
No, how could you make a man stand out of a plane going, "Yeah, kid, I'm fine," and then blow him the fuck up?
It was hilarious.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, but then you follow that up with just like boring shit where he's talking to Blake Lively and the other government people for 10 minutes, and it's just fucking, they're all so shit. Yeah, it's just so boring. Right, so it's like. It's a like roller coaster of emotions. 1 minute you're in hysterics laughing at the CGI, but then the next bit you're just bored because it's just like, it's fucking terrible. So it's like not quite bad enough or good enough. It's kind of like riding that line where it's just stupid. You know.
I would like to add to that, Adam, that I think this movie is one of those movies there. If you watch it on your own, you'd be pissed off.
No, definitely.
If you watch it with friends, it's fucking incredible. That's what I'll add to what you're saying.
But you're laughing at the movie because you're saying shit about it. Like us calling him Freddy Forehead was funny, but that wasn't from the film. You know, that was just because they fucked up the CGI.
Honestly,
you know? So I'm not giving it that much credit. Whereas something like Justice League, I could genuinely watch and enjoy it because it's just so bad that it's like hilarious, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I am. It's really hard to rate this film to give it a number. It's like, to me, it's anywhere between like 0 and like 3 because it was enjoyable in parts and I did piss myself laughing. But will I ever watch this again? And as you say, you can't watch it on your own because it's just so bad.
No, if we was to watch this again, it would be us boys sitting down with a couple beers, like, maybe some pizza and just laughing.
Yeah.
So I mean, basically, purely because the film's just a joke in itself. Like, it's just funny that the studio wasted their money on this shit, and there is some hilarious things in there. I'll give it a 1.5. It's like in the middle of that, you know. It's got some merit because it's funny.
Yeah. All right. I'll go next. For me, this movie is either a 1, a 3, or a 5. And I can justify all 3 of those scores. A 5 because I watched it and I was in hysterics the entire time. Now that may be because we were just chatting on the group chat while watching it. But I genuinely enjoyed every minute of it because I was watching it with you guys, right? So that's why I'd give it a 5. I'd give it a 3 because, again, I enjoyed it a lot. I got so much enjoyment out of it, but it is so fucking awful. It is so bad. Nothing about it is good. There's nothing that deserves any sort of praise in the movie. And then the 1, for obvious reasons, is a 1. I don't know what to give it. I am stuck. So I'm going to give it a placeholder of a 3.
Right.
But it's probably a 1, but it might be a 5.
Right.
Does that make sense?
I can't argue with any of them.
I got you.
Right.
Okay.
What about you, Brad?
For me, cinematic masterpiece, 5 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Yeah. Wait, no, you're joking. Like, Brad, you chat shit. Was it because of all the dead hairlines?
It was.
It's not like me sitting there going, "Oh, yeah, look, I can relate to that dead hairline. I love this film."
Dead hairline out of 5.
Yeah, that means Jason Statham would be like my favorite actor of all time.
No, but they CGI'd the dead hairline. That was a conscious decision.
That's just so stupid. No, I'm gonna keep it quick. I'm giving it a 1.
Okay. Fair enough.
And the half extra is because it was entertaining, but I would not watch this shit by myself.
No way.
Never in a million years. Like there's hundreds of bad films you could watch by yourself and at least be like, nah, it was right. Right?
Yeah.
You could not watch this by yourself. And if you did watch this by yourself and somehow enjoyed
You're a masochist. Yeah. There you go.
But then also, like, this is one of them films where I'd recommend to someone who hasn't seen it so I can watch
100%.
It's one of them films.
100%.
Yeah, but there's bad and there's good bad. This is like
and this
a
is
bit in
borderline
between.
both. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
It stands on both sides of the line.
Is what it is.
So I mean that was as quick as we could have made that discussion. Honestly, we could talk about that for like 12 hours.
I do not
regret watching this film.
No,
I don't regret watching this.
True. I regretted it before I put it on, but then I was like half an hour in, and I was like, this could be a masterpiece. But the end was just too generic shit rather than bad shit.
Yeah. Cool.
So from one masterpiece to
another
something else.
Okay. Something else.
Right. So Brad, if you want to introduce the album.
Yeah. You've been talking some shit over the last couple of days, so I'm curious about what the fuck you're about to say.
Right. Well, we'll get to
we'll get there. Okay. So Sam Fender, singer, songwriter, musician from North Shields, so that's just north of Newcastle. He speaks with quite a Geordie accent, so you can quite easily tell if you heard him.
Okay.
But yeah, he was his Hypersonic Missiles is a 2019 album. It is his debut album. And it was released and entered to the charts at number 1. So he came straight in with that number 1 album.
Damn.
Impressive.
So got to like that. So, Adam, what are your views here?
Right, so you want first impressions, yeah?
First impressions and what you might have expected from this.
So my first impressions, I looked it up, and you was in the room, Brad, and I said to you, so basically this guy is just some like white guy who's going to be singing about some political stuff with a guitar. And you were like, you're not that wrong, to be fair.
Damn.
And I was like, yeah, you know what? And before I'd played anything, I was unaware that I'd ever heard any of the songs. Turns out I've heard a couple.
You would have, because one of them was on FIFA 19.
That's probably where, and I didn't really have too many expectations. I wasn't putting it off per se, because I do like some like alternative rock and whatever. If it's a bit political, like that might be pretty good. But I messaged you, Brad, after I first listened to the album, saying I hate you. To be honest,
what?
Right? Because right, I don't hate you because you suggested this album.
Right.
I hate you because you've heard this album before and you didn't mention it to me sooner.
Oh, what?
Damn!
What?
Damn!
What?
I listened to this album, first listen, and I listened to it about an hour later because I was like, I need to know, right? First things first, I'm gonna spoil like my thoughts behind this whole album.
Wow.
But this album was incredible.
Wow.
I'm not even joking. This album was amazing to me.
I'm shook right now.
Bro.
I was not expecting that at
Honestly, I got like 6-7 songs in, and I was just like, what the fuck? Why have I never heard of this before?
Jeez.
I can't believe it.
I'm being serious. No.
That's mad.
And then when I listened to it a second time, because I wanted to like solidify my opinions or whatever. If anything, I liked it even more.
Yeah,
bro, I'm gonna be listening to this album a lot more.
I was kind of interested though when you said, because usually we don't listen to the live songs in an album, but you wanted to listen to the live song and then also give your thoughts afterwards. So I was like, I was a bit confused when you said.
I was throwing you off the scent,
Yeah,
I didn't want to give away too much. I didn't want to give away. Nah, bro, this is my shit. This is my shit. You can tell a lot of the influences that we'll go through.
Yeah,
the influences are shit that I love. So yeah, we'll get into that.
Okay, so Dylan.
Wow. Okay, so I living in London, right? For some reason, and it makes sense now that after I listened to the album, the only place I had seen his advertisement was on like underneath bridges and like in the underground and kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, he has received quite a bit of promotion.
Yeah. Like I saw it everywhere, plastered everywhere.
He is signed to Polydor, so they do have a bit of financial backing. So
he seems like he's blowing up anyway, because obviously he's got radio hits, and
he's got quite a few songs that are played on radio. So
yeah.
And so for only having one album, he's doing pretty well. So
it's mad. So I'd seen what he looked like, and that was it.
He looks exactly like Robin Pattinson, I swear.
He is the stereotypical, like skinny white boy, hipstery, hoop earring pen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what he looks like. And I just thought, so when I first thought, like when you first said it, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's going to be some shitty rip-off Catfish and the Bottlemen type shit. That's what I thought.
I thought it was going to be like pretentious.
Yeah, just
I'm
like,
a wanker with an acoustic guitar.
Exactly. I thought it was going to be like, oh, I love this girl and I live in a small town. And all of that. I was shook when I listened to it because I listened to it for the first time. I was like, okay, this music is good. I wasn't really listening to lyrics. I'm not really much of a lyric person. So I was listening to it. I was like, damn, this sounds beautiful. It sounds great. And then this morning I listened to the album, and for some reason it just provoked everything in me. And I don't know why. It was amazing.
Well, I'll say, like, as we go through the tracks, once you catch certain lyrics, it does have an impact.
Because I think there's a lot of meanings in these songs, and it's actually quite intelligent to try and break down at times as well.
Yeah,
I'll just give you a brief overview of my opinion as well, though. So I suggested this. I didn't know where either of you would stand with this album, because it has like indie influences. So obviously that was where I was like thinking you guys might like it a little bit. But then there was also parts of it I thought maybe quite repetitive. And then also it's because it's not a band, it's just one guy. A lot of the influence comes from himself, and it's not like a group decision made. So I was a bit curious as to how one man might just affect you. So my overall opinion is that I listened to this album off the back of a friend's recommendation, and also because I'd heard a lot of the songs on the radio, and a lot of the songs on the radio, I genuinely feel are the worst songs on this album, right?
Which I can tell. I feel like I can tell which one.
Which is quite interesting because when the reason I hadn't listened to the album sooner was because I heard the radio songs. I was like, it's all right, but I don't feel like this is going to be a great album. And then when a friend of mine was just like, hold on a second, you haven't given the album a chance. Give the album a chance. I was like, okay, cool. I listened to the album, and literally the songs that have been released, I feel are the worst songs on the album. So we'll go through. So Hypersonic Missiles, the first track on the album, also the title name of the album. It just seems to focus a lot on sort of people that are above us and sort of the uncertainties of wars and such things like that. But for me personally, this was one of the songs that I've heard released, and it's one of the songs that I haven't enjoyed so much. There was some good parts to it, though. I mean, I love the saxophone, and throughout this album as well.
Throughout the album,
that's a really nice touch. I feel like everyone loves a bit of saxophone in there. And then the verses I find not boring, but I didn't feel like they hit me quite well. And then the chorus, I get the chorus. It's all about messaging for me, this song, rather than the actual how the song's played out. So the messaging's quite good for me, but the song slightly misses. So what's your opinion, Dylan?
So for me, I said, so what did I say? I said he's talking about the world in general and that he doesn't have answers for what's going on, but he can only ask the questions. That's what I kind of wrote. I like this song. This is obviously the first song I've heard from him. I really like how catchy and generic it is.
This song was a radio friendly.
So this is probably one of the radio songs. But I genuinely like it. It's very catchy. It's indie, but not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's something we sort of need to dabble in and out of throughout this entire thing, because it's kind of indie, it's kind of pop rock. So it's a nice little blend. It's not one or the other, you know. But there's the one thing that throughout this, I feel like the songs that he's released on radio, they're sort of very pop friendly, but the other songs, they have this very like cool psychedelic guitar sound to them. And that's what really gives a lot of these songs some good edge. Sorry, Adam, your view on this song?
For me, like similar to what you said, but it grabs your attention straight away. So the first thing I noticed was his voice is ridiculously good on this song, like, especially during the verses. Like I really like the verses more than the chorus. Actually, I think the chorus was a bit overpowered by the instrumental, and it was kind of a bit bland, the chorus. But the verses, I really enjoyed. This was giving me like Manic Street Preachers vibes. I don't know if you've ever heard them. So they're like old school political alternative rock, basically, but every song's like about something important. And the messaging, like to me, for this song was he says the line "blissfully aware of everything," unaware of everything. I mean, and this follows sort of a pattern that's through the whole album of like burying your head in the sand and ignoring the world's problems or your own problems with like this small town mentality where you just like, if I don't acknowledge it, it doesn't exist. And like it's a very pessimistic song, but the messaging to me is a lot better than the song itself. The instrumental is a bit bland compared to the rest of the album.
No, that's something I could agree with. I feel like the messaging is certainly more powerful than the actual song in this one. Right, so track number 2, The Borders. I really like this track because it's quite upbeat. It's got those silky guitars going over it. And the song focuses on a close friend that he grew up with, that he calls as a brother. And it just focuses on like his friend's relationship and how there's some strange moments that happen throughout their lives. But one thing about this song is that although it's really cool and upbeat and really fun to listen to, it doesn't change an awful lot. And the outro, this happens quite often on this album, and like about 3 or 4 tracks, where he finishes the song by repeating the same lyric about 4 to 8 times. And that does annoy me slightly, because it feels like because there's some cool little outros for a lot of these songs actually, which I'll move on to when we get to them. But there was quite a few songs that the one downside that did irritate me was that they just had these really long outros of him just saying the same lyric. And it's either him trying to make the point that he's empowering the message, or it's either, just sort of he ran out of lyrics. I don't know. But okay, Adam, what are you saying?
Well, I disagree with what you said for this song actually. I think this song's one of the best on the album for start.
Okay.
I thought this song was amazing, and the word I wrote for this was emotional. His voice in this, and when he was some of the lyrics I picked up on as well. At first, I thought it was about like an abusive household, but then I did check the lyrics, and it's like about his friend. His friend comes from an abusive household, and he's like jealous of him, so he like takes out on him because his dad's still there or something. But the lyrics and like the music in this, it was giving me like Ben Howard vibes, but like a bit more rocky.
I don't know who that is.
What?
Bit Arcade Fire.
Bro, did you just say you don't know who Ben Howard is?
Wait,
bro,
is that?
Calm down, bro.
I don't know who that is.
It's not that deep.
No,
bro,
it's
no, Brad's hurting.
That might be a good recommendation.
No, just so we're clear, Ben Howard. If you just cut in this a second, right?
Okay.
Ben Howard has some of the greatest live performances you will ever see in your life. If you want to see any kind of emotion, right?
Chill,
no, I'm just getting deep here, bro.
Bro,
This hits me hard. This hits me hard, right? So Ben Howard, right? Do yourself a favor. Go onto YouTube, type in Ben Howard. Find a live performance, preferably the one he did on Jules Holland, End of the Affair, right? You will be mind blown. Carry on.
Okay.
Right. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right. It sounded a bit Arcade Fiery as well, which obviously I like. But like his voice on this one was really strong and emotional, but you could understand more what he was saying on this song. I think the first one, it was a bit drowned out. And obviously he's got a bit of a northern twang to it. So some songs I could understand what you're saying really clearly, and when you can, like this song, like really resonated with me.
Cool. So I didn't really pick up. So when I first listened to this, and the second time, in fact, I didn't actually pick up what it was talking about. So I was kind of just waiting to hear what you guys said. But I heard like little bits here and there, like I think someone's mum committed suicide or something, and shit. Like I was like listening to it, and I was like, this song from the last song into this song, I was like, shit. So this covers like a lot.
Because this song sort of follows his childhood friend who's had like a really troubled upbringing, and then he just goes through some of the like issues that he's had and how that's like framed him to be who he is.
Yeah, but no, this song again, like what both of you guys said, it's just powerful. That's what I wrote. It's like a powerful song. Like you can feel it when he's singing.
Yeah.
Although it wasn't one of my favorites on the song.
No. If we want to talk about powerful, and then we move into the next song, White Privilege.
I want to go last.
This song is incredible.
Yeah.
It's like I say, it's got the fantastic messaging. It's nicely layered. It's not too blown up. Because there's a couple songs on this album that are quite blown up with like instruments and everything quite loud and
this was a bit more minimalist.
This was perfectly small. And it just the lyrics, they speak on Brexit, racists, elitists, fucking snowflakes. It talks about, man. And the fact is, it didn't need to move anywhere too far or too fast. And the way it flowed through the entire track, it made you want to listen to the lyrics. And that for me was just so powerful.
The word I wrote for this was like thoughtful, because it's a very direct message, and it's kind of, the lyrics are simple, but it kind of sums up, like, I suppose what he was going for is like the modern social media bubble where everyone's like, he starts it off by saying like, I just want to get my fast food and scroll through my Twitter or whatever, it's just like, again, it's that dealing with your own problems by just ignoring them. And it's like, white privilege is just the like essence of that, isn't it? It's just, it doesn't affect me, so I'm not concerned with it. And like the line, I want to be anyone but me, that he repeats a lot, that really got me, because I was like, that just sums up like people's insecurities, especially in the modern day world. It's like the reason that they're feeling this way is because they don't want to be themselves,
And I especially liked at the end as well, because I know I said I've mentioned about how he repeats the lyrics over and over again, but the ending where he just goes, evil is still not gone, and he's talking about racism.
Yeah,
like
he says my ancestors were evil and
racism.
it's still not gone.
Yeah,
and
clear modern day racism. He is still, and then he just outros with it, and then he builds his vocals as well. So at first it's just like the evil is still not gone, and then at the end it's like powerful because it's like the evil is still. And he's really trying to throw that message out there.
Yeah, and this one, like the backing with this one as well is like beautiful in one part, but it's like menacing at the same time. It's like really dark, and it just works. It works really well on this song. This song's great.
Okay, Dylan, you composed yourself, bro?
This is the song that I just kind of wrote like an entire fucking essay on. Because so for me, like this song solidifies kind of what this song is about, if that makes sense. So for him, I'm saying this kind of loosely, his only real issue is that he's got white guilt. That's pretty much what he's trying to say. And that he's accepted his white privilege. And he's trying to, I don't know, what did I write? He said he's using his white privilege and to kind of make people aware of what's going on, and that there are other things going on outside of your own little bubble that you kind of live in.
Can I just say with that, Dylan, the line where he says, I'll sign online petitions and that's me doing my bit. He's like basically just saying like, as long as you feel like you're making a difference, that's all you need to do, you know, which is so true with like the
I think the line is signing these online petitions thinking I'm making a difference.
That's it.
So he's kind of he's throwing out there. He's like, you're not really making a difference. You're just signing a petition. That's the point he's making there.
But that's pretty much what people are doing right now. It's like there's a problem, and people are like, oh, I've signed that change.org thing. It's fine. I've done my part.
Exactly.
But he's talking about that. And so the thing I wanted to say is that I can relate to some part of this song because, and I say this with big quotation marks, I am privileged to not look Indian. So for me, having like a white sounding name and not looking Indian has helped me in some parts. But the fact that people like my dad, for instance, has gone through so much shit. Like, for instance, he, like, when the terrorist attacks were happening and stuff like that, he was constantly racially abused and stuff like that. Now, I never was because I am privileged, per se, for things like I couldn't get into the universities I wanted because I have an Indian passport. Stuff like that. I have to, settle. Whereas a lot of people never have these kind of issues. Like for me, would I get jobs considering I have an Indian passport? That's something I might have to worry about, whereas other people wouldn't. So this song for me released a lot of, I don't know, anger, but also it helped me a little bit deal with some of this stuff, because this has been in my head for my entire life and I didn't know up until now. So that's what
I suppose with like this song in particular, it's not like a biased point of view. It is interpretable. Like everyone could have their own interpretations behind it.
100%.
He's definitely not. He's presenting it just as it is, like a fact. Like I am white privileged. He's not saying anything beyond that. He's basically just describing what his privilege is, and that's why I think really the message is so powerful.
It's interesting that he's chosen in his album to sort of highlight this message as well. Like he could have put anything in his album. He could have put like 12 radio-friendly songs in there, but instead he decided to But instead he decided that he was at one point going to put in this really powerful message about white privilege and how we walk around every day not knowing how privileged we are.
Exactly. This is why I can appreciate
it's the whole theme of the album of just I'm unaware of everything, and that's blissful. That's like in the first song, and it runs true for like pretty much every song.
I can really appreciate that he is, I'd say, taking a stance and just trying to educate people. He's not saying that he's right or wrong. He's just putting out there what he thinks
it's ownership,
is a problem. I appreciate the song.
Which runs into next song,
next track, Dead Boys. So for me, I really enjoyed the little acoustic intro, and I feel like this song especially has a very good vocal performance. And this one was a bit harder to pick up the messaging of it, but I believe
I struggled. I didn't write anything.
I had to look it up, to be honest.
Yeah, but I believe the overall message in this is about young suicides.
Male suicide,
yeah, young male suicides. But it's this song again, it really builds on you. And again, it's just trying to set the message, saying that hold on a second, we're again unaware of what's going on, because I think something I read before was that he was not aware of how many like say teenage suicides or young male suicides there were until he saw the figure. Then he was like, oh shit, that's kind of mad.
Yeah, it's not talked about. Like you don't hear in music at all. How many artists you know who have committed suicide? It's like every year you've got a famous artist who commits suicide. So it should
it's not even necessarily someone that's of an older generation. It's someone quite young.
Exactly. Yeah. Am I right to talk about my?
Yeah, go.
Like this, to me, this is probably the best song on the album, and I found this really powerful. Like what Dylan was saying, like the third song gave him like an emotional reaction. The first time I listened to this song, I thought it was a really good song, and I was listening to it, and like his singing's incredible on this. The bass catches you, and it's like you can hear the emotion in his voice, but I didn't necessarily know what he was saying. So at first, I thought it was just about small town mentality. So like he's talking about boarded up windows and like there's nothing in this town.
He does go on to talk about that, but
I mean that's still a part of the song. But like the more I listen to it, he's saying like close our eyes to the pain, and he's saying no one ever did tell us about the dead boys in our town. That's like the repeated chorus on this song. When I looked it up, and it's basically about that exactly, like people in small towns that have been neglected, and there's like a pandemic of young men committing suicide because they've got nothing else. When I listened to this song again, I was like, fucking hell. There's a really strong message to this song. And again, it's just about you bury your head to your problems when you should be tackling it, and it doesn't get talked about. Like I've never heard an album that talks about it this sort of starkly. It's very in your face, like you can't ignore it, because it's like, this is happening, what are you going to do about it, this song was incredible.
I think the statistic, I'm not sure, so don't quote me on this, but I think the statistic is 1 in 4 suicides are males under 35, which is insane, an insane amount. So it's good that he's got such powerful topics to be discussed on this,
Definitely.
Because I've never heard anyone address this, But apart from the message of the song, which I didn't pick up on up until you guys have just said, apart from that, the aesthetic of the album, I love it so far. Like it's very, so I wrote, it sounds very Stranger Things. Have you guys watched Stranger Things?
No.
Okay, so it's very like kind of retro-y 80s.
I know the like aesthetic,
like the kind of synthy. Got like the muted drums and the muted bass along the background. Like it sounds beautiful, and his voice is ridiculous. Like, there's ridiculous.
Particular songs on this album as well where I feel like his voice really gets to show off as well.
Definitely.
Like a lot. We can move on.
I feel like the next track really shows off how good his voice is, because he can really hit those higher ranges. And obviously he doesn't have the lowest register of voice anyway. He is quite a high register voice, but it really shows how far he can take it.
Definitely.
So the next song, You're Not the Only One. Again, I feel like this could be his best vocal performance on the album. Maybe there's a different track that I want to talk about that he had a ridiculous vocal performance on as well. But this had a really good performance, and it also showed off his sort of lower range sections as well. And I thought the chorus was really impressive.
I literally wrote this. His voice has so much range, so I just said what you said, basically.
There is one thing about this song that lets it down for me though, and I actually really find the drums really annoying.
Really?
I hate the little thudding drum that it starts with and ends with. I found that it's quite jarring to me in a way. It just sounds really shallow. I didn't like it particularly. I feel like the song could have just done with some actual like human made drums rather than, it didn't need to be done on a computer and gone. So
Fair.
But again, love the use of the saxophone in this song as well.
Saxophone.
Yeah. Just saxophone.
Any song with saxophone in it, it gets a thumbs up from already.
No, but
on this album.
But yeah, personally, I thought this song was really good. It's just I felt like the drum beat was really quite annoying. So Dylan?
I said it's a cute song. He's found his woke lover or something like that.
Yeah.
He's it's a good song. It's a well-rounded song. I really like the drums on it. That's what I said. The drums and the sax at the end.
Yeah.
Again, I wrote very 80s vibe. Very 80s vibes for me. But good song. It's fine. One of the better ones. Adam?
Yeah, I still really like this song. So this was the point in the album where I was like, why the fuck have I not heard this yet? Because up to this point,
cussing Brad.
I've literally loved like every song. But yeah, this is a sad boy indie banger. It's just
sad boy indie banger. That's the
there's
one.
There's like a, this is a very specific sound, right? But the Foals, they use like a xylophony sounding guitar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Brad. Right.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
This appears like a few times on this album, but this song sounded like a good Foals song. Like, I like Foals anyway. But yeah, it reminded me of a Foals song, and it's a little bit different because this one's a bit more upbeat. Like, obviously, it's more of a love song. But like the singing and the like guitar was sick. So
yeah. No,
but
but I can't highlight enough how impressive the vocal performance is on this.
I thought that straight away.
Yeah.
You got something to say, mate?
I've already spoken. Yeah.
Okay. No, sorry. I thought you was going to carry on saying something.
Nah.
So Play God, the next track. This song for me is so catchy. Because I was before Adam had even listened to the album, because I'd already listened to it. I was walking around singing the song to myself, and he was like, "Oh, is that the album? Sounds shit, right?"
That's very Adam.
Yeah.
But to me, I love this song. Probably one of my favorites off the album, because I didn't even delve too much into the meaning of this song because it's not very long. There's not an awful lot of verses to it, but obviously it's just talking about someone trying to play God. And it's just, again, the vocal performance is what took me through the song.
Yeah. For me, I thought it was more like a kind of like government thing.
Yeah.
So
I looked at the lyrics.
You're talking about say the Prime Minister playing God by making
like
decisions.
It's like a dystopian like fantasy, he said. So basically saying like if someone controls everything, but obviously it relates to like modern day as well.
Yeah. Because that's what I picked up. But I said I fucking love this song musically. Like the drums and the hook. The hook was catchy as fuck.
Yeah.
Then it gets to a point where there's like an isolated guitar picking.
Yeah, do you know the whole guitar the entire way through? It's like
really enjoyed that. I did think that the song would like kind of reach a climax, but it kind of stayed.
I don't think it didn't need to though.
It did. That's the thing. It didn't need to. I thought it would, but it didn't need to. It was very good song. Very good song. One of my favorites on the album.
Yeah, for me, this is one of my favorites again. This is up there with the others. Like, I like how he says in like his opening lyrics that he's like screaming for a megaphone and his vocals were mixed. So it sounded like he was singing for a megaphone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I literally wrote, right, my second line, I just said, I love this song straight away. You can just tell, you can tell when a song is great. And the first like verse, and then as soon as that chorus came in with that Play God, it's a bit Folesy again, but I'll just say, like, as you guys said, the instrumental on this is probably the best instrumental on the album. I think, like, his vocals aren't quite as like I don't know, like crazy as the last ones, but he's still good. And this song's like really gritty as well.
It's just got a vibe to it, you know.
Yeah, and it's like catchy, as you said.
Even the verses are catchy.
Very.
Like, cause it's very like boppy in and out, you know.
Yeah, like I've got it in my head now.
Through a megaphone.
Yeah.
Get your hands up the Middle East.
Is that a lot of the songs, the choruses are like 2-3 lines.
Yeah.
And then the verses are just so good. And usually for me, I don't listen to verses. I'm listening to a song. I'm kind of just there like, I'm waiting for the chorus for it to kind of drop. But the entire song on every single one of these songs are just banging straight through.
Do you know what I think is strange about like this song as well, particularly, is that he's not put too much into it. I mean, there's not an awful lot of verses or like the chorus is just, like say it's just the pre-chorus and then the chorus, but the verses are not that long. But he managed to say what he needs to say within those 5 lines, in and out, and then into your really catchy chorus. And I was just like, this is so well crafted.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
On to the next song, That Sound. This was probably my least favorite song on the album. And the reason for that is because it feels like a total Foles ripoff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Again, I said Foles.
Yeah, because this song, I mean, there was obviously influences of Foles on this album, I feel.
Yeah.
But this song just felt like he was almost ripping them off to a degree.
A little bit, yeah. I'd agree with that.
Yeah, but it sort of detracted from the song for me, and therefore I wasn't really able to say anything meaningful about it because I felt like I'd already heard this song on a Foles album.
Yeah.
So what have you guys got to say?
Yeah, I agree with what you said there. I said obviously it's more rocky sounding, but it's very Foles. Whereas the other ones, he took that sound and did something completely different with it. This one's it's a bit too similar. But I did like the messaging where this song's basically, he says like only music keeps me grounded, that sound or whatever, you know. It's basically just like he's just talking about how important music is to him.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just like a solid message there. But this song was in like the lower half of my song.
Again, it's not a bad song. I just didn't like how he basically just copied Foles, and that's all I can say about the song.
It doesn't stand out. If it was on a different album, it might, but you know.
Yeah, it's the one song in this album that I feel didn't show his personality.
Okay. So for me, I have never listened to the Foles. Don't know what they sound like. So I said that like it sounds clean. Like I love it. The only thing I would say is that the hi-hats in this song pissed me off. Too loud. It was too much. It kind of drowned out the rest of it. Yeah. Other than that, like the guitar was fucking cool.
So you really like those screeching guitars, like
I love it. I love it. Lyrically, I said it was pretty cool. He's talking about like, you know, how like what did I write? I said like the sound that keeps him grounded is just kind of like people who know him are jealous and trying to claw him down, and he's kind of just there like I got a job to do kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
He's not getting lost with the rest of the celebrities and shit.
But
yeah, solid song. I've never listened to the Foles, so I couldn't say anything about that. Yeah.
So next track, Saturday.
Okay.
So this is another radio-friendly song that they've released. Well, that is released. Sorry. And for me, like I find the verses quite boring, but the chorus, I wouldn't say I love this song, but I feel it's somewhat catchy to a degree. But no, for me, it's just I didn't really like the composition of the song. It was too much going on all over the place. So yeah, I didn't hate it, didn't love it. That's where I'm at with it. So Adam,
go on, Adam.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to go, Dylan, you can talk if you like me.
Similar to what you said, I realised while I was listening to this that I have heard it before. Is this one on FIFA?
This isn't the song on FIFA. No.
Oh, I must have heard it on the radio then.
Play God's song on FIFA.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, this one is obviously more poppy, and as you said, the instrumental does drown him out a bit, and I really didn't like the chorus on this song. This is one of the only songs where I don't really like the chorus, and yeah, the instrumental isn't really really complex. But then, as you said, if it's trying to be like a pop radio hit, then it's not gonna be as punchy as the other one. So this was like my second least favorite song. It was a bit of a throwaway to me, you know.
To add to that, I said for me it was too poppy.
Yeah,
like it almost didn't fit on this album.
This song was one of the released songs that did go on mainstream media, mainstream like radio and things like that. So
it feels like he didn't want to do this song. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like it's more of a fun song for him, you know.
Yeah, a little bit. But then you look at the rest of the album and everything's very high concept and very like dark.
Yeah, but this is more like just a fun one. It's like it's more of a fun song. It's like,
lighter.
oh look, we're all gonna wait till the weekend and all get drunk. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
I know we're looking at it like we want to see that like fucking full vision type thing, but he's got to have a few songs, fun songs.
But I feel like the album's so consistent other than that with its messaging that if this was on a different different album, then it would be fine. Like it's not a bad song.
The album I feel like the album has done a good job of flowing so far, though. I feel like there's nothing that's felt too out of place here.
This one felt out of place to me.
Okay.
Just personally.
I agree with that.
Calm. Let's move then. Let's move. So We Will Talk. Again, this was another radio song that he's created. And to me, this is where the last these three songs here are sort of like the bad part of the album for me. And I'm not saying they're bad necessarily. But I'm saying like this just little section here was sort of like it sort of detracted a little bit from what the earlier part of the album was so good at.
100%.
But the psychedelic guitars to begin with were really quite cool. I'm sorry, not that. I'm sorry. I wrote that completely wrong. No, because this song has all of these really pop styled guitars, so it wasn't really as good as what I was expecting. What I meant to say here was that it's missing from the psychedelic guitars at the start.
Yeah.
But yeah, this song, it's just a radio friendly tune that, like I say, that it's more for the younger listeners, I'd say, for this one.
Yeah, I said that I couldn't relate to this song at all. There was nothing that was there for me. Like, I didn't enjoy the music as well. So I didn't really like the twinkly bells, the violin. Not good for me. Didn't really like that. I said it was the weakest song in the album for me.
Yeah.
There was nothing about it that I liked, but I didn't dislike it. It exists, and I'm not angry that it exists.
Yeah.
That's all I had to say about that.
On that point, I pretty much agree with Dylan, although I did say that I kind of like the bells that were added. Right, the guitar riff is very, very simple, and it reminded me of the Strokes. You know, the Strokes have very simple riffing, But right, this distracted me from this song, and it's really random. But this song starts off, and it sounds exactly like the Peep Show theme tune.
The Coots.
No, it's not the Coots. It's a different band. But do you know?
I know exactly what song you're talking about.
But I'm not.
Yeah.
Right,
that
the riff
exactly
sounds really similar, and it was really distracting to me. But that's just random. But basically what both of you guys said, it was. This is the worst song on the album for me, but it was more just. It just left. It didn't really connect with me, you know.
Yeah.
It was okay, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed with that.
Next track, Two People. Now, this is where I feel like the album gets back to getting better for me, because this song is so simplistic, but yet so like good. And it focuses on, like, say, the domestic violence. And originally it's because it's of neighbors he had when he was younger, and how he noticed as growing up, like the difference in domestic violence and the levels of how it affected people.
Yeah.
But for me, just hearing just the guitar and just the vocals, it's just him showing off in this song, basically.
Yeah.
But it's really good. And it's really just simplistically wonderful. I mean, I'm always a sucker for a man with a guitar and just like singing their voice, right?
Yeah.
Because that's sort of I've got that. Like, I mean, I do that myself. So
yeah.
We know.
Can appreciate.
We're aware.
I can really appreciate just a man with a guitar singing. So
play Wonderwall.
Yeah, play Wonderwall.
Enough. For me, I said it's a very, very simple song, but I enjoyed it. It was like calming.
Yeah,
like he was singing, even though he was singing about domestic violence. It
felt
was
like I was on a
his
boat.
voice. His voice, his voice is like almost dreamy in this song. But the one thing that pissed me off is that after like every chorus or something, he did the that part pissed me off. I really hated that. It was jarring. It sounded like my phone was vibrating. That's it. Yeah.
Like I disagree with Dylan there. Again, what you said, Brad, this is where the album picks up again. And again, this song was kind of like an anti-love song. So I picked up that it sounds like it's a portrayal of a toxic relationship where neither party is happy, but they're just sticking with it. And again, that comes in with a theme of just burying your problems. And like the sound on this song was just like his voice was like silk. His voice was really, really good on this.
Yeah.
And this reminded me of Radiohead a lot. You could tell there was some inspiration from Radiohead in this song, especially with the humming sections that Dylan said he didn't like. But that's a bit of a Tom Yorkie thing to just start humming some random shit. But yeah, I like this song. This was good.
Yeah. Moving on to Call Me Lover.
Yes.
This song I didn't enjoy as much as, like, say, some of the other, like, say, songs that we then follow, but I didn't hate it. I just found the vocal performance was good, but I felt like it didn't need to go there every time he was doing the chorus. Like, he's really going to his high register saying "Call Me Lover." For me, it didn't really do much for me, but I don't dislike the song. So where are we at with this?
No, I really enjoyed this song. This was like in the sort of second tier of songs that I liked. This was a bit more folky. This was giving me like Fleet Foxes vibes, and I like there was a bit of like choir backing singer in the background, which I liked. This one was a bit more minimalist, like we've said. With some of the songs can be a bit too overpowering. This one I feel like had a good balance, and this is kind of like, again, it's like a love song, but it's kind of it's not cheesy, which is impressive, because you have a man with a guitar and he's going to sing about some woman he loves, right? And that's going to be the cringiest shit you ever see. But no, this was good. But I did feel the instrumental on this song was really, really good. But I felt like it could have had a better theme, because some of the songs that did have themes that I was more interested in had more drowned out instrumentals. Whereas with this one, because you could hear everything he was saying, I wanted him to be a bit more in depth and rather just a love song,
Yeah. So I completely agree with that. But I also added that musically, this is probably one of my favorite songs. Just listening to it, it was the drum. It had
those
the clap,
big drums to it, didn't it?
Like, the drum and the clap was really nice. And on top of that, anytime you add strings to a song with like guitar and stuff like that, it just takes it from here to here. Like,
again, that's very Radiohead vibes.
Okay, I didn't know that. Never listened. Cool, fun. I like that. I really like that song.
Moving on to not the last track, but the last track before the live track. Leave Fast. I love this song. For me, it feels like a proper closer song as well. And because we've had so many albums we've been through recently where we've not felt like the closing song is actually a very good closing song.
No,
I feel like this did everything to sort of shut you up emotionally.
100%.
And it was so good. Like, the way the messaging is just obviously talking about leaving where he's at because it's a dead end town and he needs to go further.
He needs to get out of there.
Or leave fast or stay forever. That's such a simple line.
And as well, the vocal run there as well.
Oh my God.
Where he moves that throat so effortlessly. Vocally, this song's great. Lyrically, the song's great. And it's so minimalist. But for me, it's still so good. So, Adam, what would you have to say about this?
Yeah, like everything you just said, I basically agree with. Great closer. It's one of my favorite songs. Again, it brings that message full circle. So it's like everyone wants to leave where they are, because it's just like you either leave these dead end places or you'll be there forever. And that's like a powerful message to me. And this song, have you ever heard Jeff Buckley's cover of Hallelujah?
I mean, I obviously have.
Yeah, so you know,
there's no way you have not heard it, Dylan. Trust me.
So you know the way his voice sounds on that, but you've got like the sparse piano.
Oh yeah.
This song to me sounded like his version of like that type of song. So it's kind of like a ballad, I suppose.
Yeah, just a powerful.
Like, the singing was beautiful, and this song really resonated with me. Another random thing, right, that I picked up on, Brad. Okay, I recently watched Twin Peaks.
Right.
You know the theme tune from Twin Peaks.
What are you about to say here?
That bass line, right? I'm sure there was a bass line in the latter part of this song that was reminding me of Twin Peaks. All
right, we're moving on.
Right, it wasn't distracting. No, this song was amazing. Anyway, this song was.
The only thing I'd add to what you guys said is that the like electrical, acousticy kind of sound to it was like you could close your eyes and just chill, like. Just let him almost sing you to sleep, kind of thing. Really good.
As you would say, Dylan, this is a vibe. We finally got a vibe.
Yeah, this was one of my favorite songs off the album. So
yeah,
definitely.
And then the final track, which is a live track, Use.
My God,
I thought it was quite refreshing to hear. no guitars. I know that's going to sound stupid.
Yeah.
But it was just him and the piano.
Unbelievable.
And I found that quite refreshing throughout the album because he added this onto the album because it was shot in a place where he had loads of music executives around and he had to really sort of connect with his audience and sing this song.
Yeah.
And he felt like he did such a good job on this song that he wanted to put it on his album.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Agreed.
But for him, this was quite a significant part in his career because this is what really got him to push from the label to then get his album out and then to do as well as he's doing currently. We're gonna add to that.
Oh shit! Yeah.
I thought you just cut out, man.
Yeah.
All right, can I go first? Because I was the one who said we should talk about this. Right.
Yeah.
The reason I said, shall we talk about this? Because originally when I saw the track list and it said live, I was just like, oh, obviously that's just like added as a bonus or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
This didn't even sound like a live song until they started clapping at the end. It sounded like a studio produced live song. Like his sounded immaculate on this song. And also I wanted to talk about it because this might be my favorite song on the whole album, even though it's just a live song. The piano and his voice, again, it was giving me like Tom York Radiohead vibes. But
I did get that from this song.
Bro, this song was incredible. Like his voice was so powerful in this song. And obviously, like I can see why he put it on the album because I was thinking like, oh, live, it'll just be some throwaway. But no, they should have just put it on the album like without it saying live, and I'd have been like, I wouldn't even know. It was great.
It like gave me goosebumps listening to
it.
That's all I have to add. I said just ridiculous.
Yeah,
like he didn't need to flex that hard. He didn't need to.
You already had us. Wait, you had to flex on your album.
It's just pure. You can just tell the talent though. This is his debut album as well.
Yeah,
and he's like playing all the different instruments, and his voice is like different every song, but it's just always good. Yeah, he's just fucking good, man.
Just to be clear on this as well, because he was found by Ben Howard's manager 10 years ago, and he's only now just released an album. So
how old?
He's not old. He's 26. So
he's 26.
He's 26. Only just turned 26. So he's like mine and Adam's age. So
yeah, jeez,
damn, doing bits.
But so to conclude, what we saying, Adam?
Right, yeah. As I was saying, like, this is the first album that like anyone's recommended where I've appreciated some of the albums, but like obviously part of this podcast is that we want to share good music with each other.
Yeah,
well, and the bad.
Yeah, well, yeah, true. We want to take the piss as well. But yeah, this was the first time where I was like 5 songs in, I was like, okay, I'm in. I can't even argue. This isn't even I appreciate it. This is just fucking good music, right?
Wait, so you're telling me Arctic Monkeys didn't do that?
I mean,
sorry,
this is an emotional album. Arctic Monkeys was different emotions. We could say.
Different emotions, yeah.
But yeah, like the messaging and just like how powerful his voice is with those lyrics, it like genuinely had a reaction with me. And I love that theme of everyone's had that theme of just like ignoring your problems and they'll go away, and I think that's really good. You can tell it's inspired by like Radiohead, Foals, different sort of indie, and I like all them anyway. But yeah, like this album genuinely like beautiful. I say that, and I'm gonna listen to it again. Like
100%. I'm gonna listen to it on every walk I go on for the next days, weeks.
Just from like the 2 listens of this and you suggesting it, I'm a fan now. You know, you can just you can tell when you first hear albums where you're like, I should have listened to this sooner. That's why I was giving you shit, Brad.
This doesn't really come into your circle though. When you hear about,
I'd never say Adam.
But as you said though, with the singles.
This is a pop record. Let's not forget this. It is a pop record.
It is,
I wouldn't
but
say
not in sound though. Not in sound.
Yeah.
This is like an alternative rock album, I'd say, with different elements in it. But yeah, on the first listen, I gave it an 8 out of 10. On second listen, I think I'll even bump that up a little bit. So I'll give this an 8.5 out of 10.
Jeez,
like this album, this really did like blow me away. This album, to be fair.
Fair play. So Dylan.
So for me, I've never had a song or an album or a song that I've kind of felt emotion from, you know? Like, this is probably the first album / song where I've been like, shit, I need to take a second and just write some thoughts down.
Yeah.
Like, struck different chords for me. So it's so good to listen to. It's so calming and thought-provoking, and I did not expect this at all. I thought it was just going to be another indie record with just some guy that I'm going to forget about, but I'm not. Solid 8 out of 10. Solid 8 out of 10 for me. Will listen to multiple times and recommend.
Yeah.
Yes. So for me, again, there's nothing really I dislike about this album. There's no major downfalls on this album. There's just a couple of tracks that lose it a little bit for me. I mean, I don't know whether I would have gone into this album hoping to like just get a full woke section of songs. I mean, obviously he's got to have some sort of pop bangers to be able to. I mean, I don't know whether that could have been like a label decision or whether that was his decision. Like,
yeah,
to
that was
just
kind
have
of
a couple
my
radio-friendly songs on there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the track's a little from the album for me, but not enough to give it a bad score. So for me, I think 7.5 to 8 is probably a good mark. So
yeah,
solid.
pretty much in agreement. But
cool.
It was a really good recommendation, though, Brad.
Smashed
that,
it.
you know?
You're welcome, boys.
Smashed
right.
it.
So, Dylan, have you got hopefully a short question for us?
We've
had some marathon discussion this one. But...
I've got a kind of short question. I'll start off answering to give you some time. So I said, what are your top 3 just favorite video games? Doesn't have to be the best, just most nostalgic, kind of best experiences playing.
Okay.
So for me, one of the most recent ones is Monster Hunter. Me and Adam played through it, and we played it for maybe 3 hours a day, every day for a month, and we still have got so much more to do. But it's
true.
It's such a good game, beautifully, aesthetically, just the gameplay, so good. Another one was Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PlayStation 2. Did any of you play that?
Right. No. Like briefly, yeah.
Okay. So that game, easily the best Star Wars game that has ever been made, and I'll say that hands down, better than Knights of the Old Republic, all of that.
Right.
So
You're
much to do on it.
forgetting Lego Star Wars.
No, it's better than Lego Star Wars.
You're
I
wrong.
played Lego Star Wars, and it's better.
Lego Star Wars bangs.
You're wrong.
No, you're not.
And the last one is Simpsons Hit and Run on PlayStation 2. One of the greatest games that have ever been created.
Where is the remake? Where is the remake?
I'm telling you now. They have waited for PS5 to do this. Because Simpsons they've recently hit their 30 years or 30th season. They're gonna go out on it with a bang with this game in a year or two.
They've got 100%. That game bangs.
Because I'm sure I think a year and a half ago that there was a producer who leaked that they started the development, and that was a year and a half ago.
I'll believe it when I see it. I'll go next then. So number 1 probably Bloodborne. Just give me all of that shit, you know. I love the From Software combat anyway, but Bloodborne was the one where like they got it perfect combat wise and the game world as well. I've never played a game that has that intricate art design and all of that
world
shit.
Building, all of that. Yeah.
I just love Bloodborne. Then you got to chuck a Pokemon in there, like Pokemon.
Of course.
Pokemon Y for me, because it's just the amount of time invested in that game. Because that was the one that I completed my deck on, and I was just like playing 20 hours a day, no sleep. You know what I mean?
I hear that.
And then third one, potentially like The Last of Us, like just in terms of like
I've heard
story.
A lot of good stuff. Yeah,
like, especially I'm not sure about the second one. I'm gonna get the second one anyway.
Yeah,
but the first one is just like take like the best TV show ever and then let you play it. It's just like the story and world design in that game is just incredible. So
the reviews for that second one has been 10 out of 10 on everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be good, you know.
But also, I'd like to redact my answer and take out Monster Hunter and put in Pokemon Emerald.
I was going to say, bro.
No, you can't say Emerald, bro. I was going to say Emerald.
Pokemon Emerald is... All right, go for it.
No, it's cool. No, because, for me, because I'm not a massive gamer nowadays, but I was back then, I'm just going to sort of throw a couple of things that like I really enjoyed playing when I was younger.
Yeah.
So my first one is a game you guys might not even have played. It's called Army Men RTS.
Never heard of it.
I do remember that.
It was on PS2, right? And do you know what? It's not even that great a game. There's better strategy games out there.
Of course,
right?
Of course.
There's far better strategy games out there. But for me, when I was younger, this was like the best game I ever played. I used to love playing this. I still need to find my old PS2 so I can play it again.
I hear that.
Pokemon Emeralds, that was like one. That Pokemon was like the one that got me well into Pokemon. I had Sapphire first, obviously. But like Emerald was like the one that was just like level. That was the one that was just like, hey, do you know what? I'm playing all these fucking Pokemon games.
There was that elite stretch, weren't there? Where basically up until Y, like you could choose any of them basically because they were all banging. Now the new ones just kind of ruined it, but you know.
And then last game, I'd be pressured to kind of say Destiny, the first one, because the amount of hours I put into that on Xbox 360.
Yeah, true. You was obsessed with that shit.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I also love your classic Mario Kart or Sonic the Hedgehog. So
Mario Kart is just great.
Mario Kart should be everyone's OG choice. So
apart from just pure unadulterated rage.
Like God, yeah. that is your punch a wall game.
In terms of play with your friends, Mario Kart is number one. But I think that's where I'll leave it.
And Wii Sports.
Fair play.
And Wii Sports bowling.
Yeah.
Right. So after this episode, we've got next week. Dylan's is the album recommendation, I believe.
Yep.
Almost forgot there. So what album are we going to be discussing next week? Dylan?
So Brad would have listened to this, and I know he would have liked this. But I haven't listened to this album in 4 or 5 years.
This doesn't get me promised up for.
This is not getting.
This is not getting good for Adam.
The last time I listened to this band was a live performance.
This band,
right?
So it is.
He's about to say Slipknot.
White Noise by Paris.
Okay.
White Noise, the deluxe.
Oh, do you know actually?
Okay.
Do you know, I've suggested
I've heard a couple of Paris songs.
I've suggested you listen to Paris before. So
yeah.
No, I'm not mad. I was expecting you to say Slipknot or Gojira or some shit. So that's
I was gonna choose Gojira.
Right.
But
and Brad, yours is the film next week. So we're gonna talk about
I wanna switch up the mood on films because the film we just watched was fucking trash.
Fair enough.
I want to watch The Dark Knight.
Okay.
Yes,
Dark Knight. So that's where we're going with that next twist.
That's fair. I've not seen it in a long time.
I've not seen it in a while, and I'm pretty
sure
to
revisit.
Of like the DVDs I own about 3 DVDs. That's one of them. So
okay, so is it streaming anywhere? Do we know?
If not, I'll send you the copy.
I've got a DVD. You should have the DVD, Dylan. Come on.
Yeah. I don't buy DVDs. Dead format. Anyway.
Right. Anyway, so thanks for sticking around for our marathon episode. If you guys are still listening. And cheers for joining me for this discussion, guys. I'll speak to you next week.
Pleasure, boys.
See you later.
Later.